Good morning, beauties. Good to see you. Even if I can't see your faces or your face, there's a sense that I have every time I turn this little camera on and I begin to allow myself to just be a channel for whatever is here for the day, that I feel that I am speaking with you. And that's true. There isn't some false barrier that is between us. And honestly, that is so generally speaking, right, on this planet. Yes, there are different experiences, and obviously there are different places on the globe that you and I may not have visited yet, or we may have seen some of them. We may not have, obviously, we have not met every human being on the planet, but there is a web of connection that exists between each and every one of us. And I've experienced it in various meditations with as this net, right? A net of light, little points of light, and connecting like a gorgeous, bright white net of light that hovers just above the earth and wraps around the earth. And that is what we are together. And how do we, in this mundane walk of life, the daily, right, the sometimes energetically dense quality of the human experience, when we're not experiencing that connection, when we're not aware of it, how do we walk, right? This is the primary mover of what happens here on this channel, for me at least, is to balance this both and experience, right? This, instead of either or, right? Either I'm spiritual or I am living in a mundane 3D world, right? Or, these people over here are on this elevated platform of awakening or being awake, and then everybody over here is in this de-elevated position. What is the both and what is in the middle axis point, right? As I've, it's come through, it's this beautiful red dirt road that makes its way through, and that we can be aware of what is happening, right, in these different sides, these different parts of our right, left hemisphere, coming into this harmonious balance, this inner core of us. How do we walk that road lightly but with awareness? And it really is awareness. It is waking up to the understanding that you have the ability, I have the ability to be the witness to life unfolding, to your own life, to your own experiences, right? And that almost implies that there are several parts of you, and of course that's true. But the ultimate witness perspective, and that's why I'm really always emphasizing that pause, lean back, because just utilizing your body in that way creates this opening for witnessing your own mind, witnessing old calcified actions that are just habitual, that are run by the mind that is just adjusted to various overlays that occurred during your childhood, during your young adult life. Depending on how old you are, you may be a young adult right now, right? And that there are things around you that create patterns. And in order to decide which ones you wish to pick up and which you do not wish to incorporate, we want to pause and lean back. I am 100% clear that it's very, very, very challenging to pause and lean back if you are right in the middle of an extraordinarily traumatic experience. Yeah, so I'm in 100% acknowledgement of that. That is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes it's impossible to do, right? That is when fight or flight, fawn or freeze comes in, because the body is going to be responding and reacting to this, whatever's happening, right? Especially if you are very young, you're a child, and you don't have that agency to be able to have a new choice and take a new path. So never am I implying, right, that there's just this easy breezy thing, and if every little child or teenager just paused and leaned back, everything would be fine. No. But as I'm speaking here, I'm imagining that I am, and understanding that I am speaking to folks who are probably a little bit beyond, right, being a child, and acknowledging that there is still a child inside of each one of us that really wants and needs our witnessing, right, to be able to calmly care for those parts that perhaps were not cared for. So, how do we walk that beautiful red dirt road? And I do see it as red. It's an inner landscape that's come in various times for me. Very, very young, I remember writing a poem about walking barefoot with bangles around my ankles and the jingling as I walked on this red, dusty road. Perhaps it's another lifetime memory, right? But whatever it is, it's what really holds true for me, to be able to walk barefoot down the center of things in order to be the witness to what's over here, what's over here, what's up ahead, even what was back there. Okay? So the pausing and leaning back part is supporting that witness perspective, watching. And as you breathe slowly and deeply, slowly, and then it gives you allowance to come back home in order to make choices, in order to discern what is now important to you, this deep inner core of you, which is your central red road, right? The core of you, the essence of you that has always, 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 always been there and will always be there, no matter what costume you may step into, right? The body, the different bodies, okay? And I'm right, I have a feeling and a knowing in my own being that yes, we have many, many, many experiences in many different bodies, perhaps all at the same time, but that's a whole nother topic. Right now, it's this here and now, this walk on earth right now that you are experiencing. How important it is to recognize and sweetly and kindly call yourself back and just pause, right? You're not yelling at yourself, right? The mind starts, saying a lot of lies or speaking, repeating words that were spoken over you and you think they're your own. If you can simply say, hey, pause, right, out loud to yourself, pause button, and then just lean your body back. Like giving yourself some distance. I'm allowed to be the witness. I'm allowed to lean back away from all that noise and all that chatter and all that clatter. And then start your breathing. Okay, I'm really emphasizing this right now because as I was saying maybe yesterday, I can't remember what day, we're squeezing down into this point toward the winter solstice of, right, of this 12-month cycle. And there is a lot of focused energy. Well, we can focus the energy, right? There's a lot of energy. There's always, everything's energy, so that's always true. But we can acknowledge that there's an intense amount flying around. So don't let it take you off your center. Keep practicing the pause and the lean back. Just really, truly, just energetically, physically pause, pause. If you have to pause a million times during the day because there's so many invasive thoughts or reactive behaviors that want to rise out of you, just put your hand gently on your heart space and just internally, if you're somewhere where you don't want to say it out loud, just internally go, hey, pause. You're allowed to pause. Yeah, you're giving yourself permission to become that sanctified sovereign soul that you are. Yeah? And that is exactly what you are. Always have been. You don't need to try, you don't need to prove, you don't need to, have any kind of outside affirmation. It's an inside job. And that you really just see if you can allow words like that to come through your mouth about yourself or inside. Sanctified Sovereign Soul. That just came in right now, right? That's not something I've said, those 3 words together. That's for this moment. And that's the truth, because I trust this channel, because it is the big love. Sanctified Sovereign Soul. You are, we are. Okay? So that's what I'm going to end with today. Sending you so much love, so much respect. Talk soon.